so this is the 11th over.
We've got Michelson coming on here from the nil and big end there. Medium fast, the skipper of this side. Did a little captaincy as well last year there with no Williams today. He's jumped into the role for this round 1 fixture. Marginally short there as a starter.
Yes. And well played by the batsman.
This should travel, although it's holding up.
Well, holding up just in the last 5 metres.
A bit like your pitching wedge when you go out and you play your golf. It's going to be a big test here for Elsing in his captaincy there. So we've seen 3 shots in a very similar area, and ideally, especially when playing this level of cricket, you don't want a deep cow corner, especially for your quick bowlers. Maybe you have to. Maybe you have to just sort of change this game there. So maybe take out, say, your one of your points, because you've got 2 points at the moment. Take one of them out and bring him into there, just for the moment, and see if you can get him caught there.
Yes, so the general tendency at Coventry Oval is because the infield and outfield is so thick in grassy, drives in front of the wicket are very difficult, and you tend to play back foot, back behind square shots. That tends to be the bias in normal circumstances. Which means that generally fielding teams will accommodate to that. They'll try and make sure that they have at least 2 players around square, maybe a gully and a point fielder, to stop those behind square offside shots.
So we're on single 20 over. That's 10 off it here. Macleod, 1 for 44.
So this is the 12th over.
Asking with Elsing for his 6th over there, so it might be a case for him of just the 1 spell today, and they work in the other bowlers to cover the last couple, or whatever he does in bowl in this spell.
Indeed. Ooh.
It'll be another 3, you would have thought. They've run the first one hard, so they're well controlled, and we'll get a 3rd. Moves on to 4 now. His partner on 39. What would you like to see Butler come on, being a notable spinner in this team there, and the fact that you don't want to leave him too late. Do you have an over in mind, Butler?
Well, I have always been in favour of using spinners to strangle a side in the middle of a one-day innings. You make scoring very difficult. You don't need to be a great spinner, just need to be very tight and
That is a significant catch there. Didn't even look particularly close to catching it for a while there, and then it sort of held up. The breeze coming a little bit towards him, and so it gave him the opportunity to catch it there, and he's held it fantastically well.
That was really, really good. So at first he was running around from his position in order so that he's still facing the pitch, and then he noticed with about halfway to go that it turns out that the ball is actually beyond where his position was, so he had to go backwards, twist his waist, and then take the ball behind him, which is just about one of the most difficult things to do when you're running around in one direction and then you have to change directions and twist your body in an unusual way in order to take that catch. It's a really remarkable piece of fielding there.
Big change in the game there as well, because Macleod definitely had all the momentum. He worked his way to 41 there and looked well on track for a big score there. But Donkey worked themselves back in it. It's an important time in the match now.
Indeed.
The batters have crossed, as you would expect, so we've got our number 3 back on strike.
But to just finish my point, the best time is when the spinners can strangle a team in the middle overs. That's when they are most effective, I find. You don't want them too early when batsmen are still being the proactive ones.
So you would have thought, especially with that wicket, maybe now at Elsing's end?
Not quite. I would go for maybe the 15 to 20 over mark. As soon as the pressure of maintaining this batting for a long period of time starts to get to Macleod, that's when you bring your spinners on. They start to wonder, where are we going to get these runs from? And that's when the spinners can cause the most mischief.
We've played 12 here. The Roos have lost the second, and the score's 49.
So a new over. It's the 13th over.
So a fun fact early in this match, there have been 3 overs where there's been a run off the first ball of the over. 2 of them have eventuated in wickets that over.
And so now, Diamond Creek should probably be taking advantage of this situation. The 2 openers are gone, and now there might be some doubt as to how they're actually going to be able to continue batting aggressively for the next hour or so. And so if they can start trying to take the advantage and be proactive, try and cause Macleod some confusion or some difficulties by bowling very aggressive and tight, then Macleod might find themselves in big trouble, and then they'll start to wonder, hey, we've only got 10 overs left and we've got nowhere near a competitive score.
Definitely important to pick their moments now, Macleod. They've still probably got the edge in this game. If you'd said 2 for 50 after 13 or so, you'd probably take that. But now it's about making sure you keep up a reasonable rate there. It doesn't have to be 4, it has to be somewhere around about 3. Cricket bowled their 3rd man. Macleod still 2 for 49.
This is the 14th over. Most of the runs have been scored at the opposite end, with the bowler coming in from the Nillumbik end and the batsman at the Elizabeth end. Less scoring has been done on this side, but there hasn't been a significant difference in the two ends.
Like I mentioned, probably would help marginally in terms of a batting point of view to hit towards the centre with a slight breeze. Bowler working against the breeze there has to work a little bit hard to maintain the same pace, so we'll assume a little bit more, but nothing too significant. So we've got 13 balls in a row now where they haven't scored a run. Definitely Darwin Craig have turned it up in terms of their tight bowling. It's a really important moment in the match there. If they can get another one, suddenly that advantage goes back to them.
Yes, definitely. This is definitely turning into a bit of a particular moment. Now, if Macleod can keep cool and bat sensibly for the next 15 minutes, they might be able to get out of this without losing any more wickets and still with a healthy run rate. But if they do something reckless just in this little patch now, they might really regret it later on this match. And there was a fielding change, so there's no more slip now, just the gully is behind square on the offside, and there's two short covers.
One thing comes along, this sort of feels like Elzing's probably not getting it quick enough in terms of his pace there to warrant a Corden striking a catch in front of the wicket. So 50 up for the Roos, they're 251. Very loose delivery there from Mitch Elzing there. Full bunger and smacked away for 4.
Indeed. Yes, that was a particularly bad delivery, and was a waist-high full toss, and the batsman has a huge gap at Cow's corner in order to slog it through, and indeed he did. And a slower ball to mix it up a bit. And that was an ugly slog. Now, will he want to continue bowling right now into the future? Because with tight bowling at the other end, and he hasn't had the best spell to start.
Probably get a chance to delve into it more after this delivery, but there might be a chance to look at your other options there. Look at, you say, your Wells, your McCormicks, your Bedurks even with a spin there, so there'll be opportunities. We played 15 here at Coventry, it's 256.
So this is the 16th over.
Elzing bowling out here. He's 8 overs there. So he'll be one that you obviously can't use there for the death overs there, but probably doing with the theory that you had before there. You get your lead bowlers on to bowl for longer there, so you can get the most wickets at the top. Makes the end probably a bit easier there. So figure so far none for 24 Jackson Elsing there, so not too bad. You probably want your opening bowl maybe a little bit tighter, but otherwise solid job.
I see, so in the JLT Cup, the qualifying final was washed out, which seems to mean that the team that was ahead on the ladder automatically goes through to the semi-final.
So that benefited Victoria, who played Western Australia in the semis.
Which is tomorrow. Yes, like I was saying in the previous over, considering how good this bowler is bowling right now from the Elizabeth Street end, they're really going well with Diamond Creek. But with at the other end, it's just not as tight, and so.
All we do know is that with Elsing bowling his last over here, they'll will need to do a change. So maybe a double change, maybe go with a Wells-Bedurk combination there. We'll see. Diamond Creek do have a few options up their sleeve. There's only really 2 or 3 in their side that don't bowl, so a little bit of flexibility. Gone, it's 2:57.
And yes, there has been a change. This is the 17th over, and we have a change of the bowling. It is Dylan Bedurk, right arm off spin to bowl at the Nillumbik end, and so slip slash gully point. Short cover, cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, short fine leg, and then a deep cow's corner. Pretty orthodox field.
One thing that Bedurk does is he definitely backs in his line in particular there. He'll mix up his speeds there, and he'll do other things with his length, but he'll back his line to have 5 on the offside rather than need to swing one across the leg side.
Bedurk definitely gave it his all there.
It's an old phrase where I come from, it's don't die wondering.
So both times being hit just outside the line of off stump. Batsman needs to watch himself what he's doing here.
Probably playing across the line because of the fact there's only 4 on the leg side, and think he can take advantage of that. So it's pretty good field placements in the end for Mitch.
Yes. Oh, a very good over.
It's a main over, still 2:57.
So, this is the 18th over. There's just a couple of overs to go before the drinks break. Macleod, despite losing their 2 openers, are in a pretty good position, going at just short of 4 runs per over. And so I feel as though they would want to just not do anything silly for the next 5 minutes. 10 minutes, that is.
of course, we do have a change of bowling here at the Elizabeth Street end with Elsing bowling through his 8th. So, as the fashion is for one day, once you've bowled your overs, you've got to come off.
Yes.
So we do have Brown into the attack. One of our recruits.
And another medium fast, fast medium bowler who has a very high arm action, and he's not the tallest, but he is pretty tall, and obviously with a very straight and high arm he'd get a little bit of extra bounce out of the pitch.
Pretty specific instructions from the fieldsman there about what they want.
What an unusual boundary there. I'm not sure that the spider will be that happy.
Well, what you generally want between your keeper and your first slip is you generally want nothing there. So you want everything to sort of be covered. Even if it's not a catch, just at least cover it. So with that going actually through them, you're not generally happy there. You want to tighten it up, either get Josh Murray take a step to his right or get your first slip take a step to the left there. So they'll work it out amongst themselves on the field. Macleod at 2 for 62.
And so in the test match that's happening right now, we've got a very, very one-sided game. India declaring with over 600, and the West Indies not even getting 100 and being many wickets down. With Debutant Shaw getting 100, Pujara, who's gone himself back into the team, making a very good half-century, Kohli a century, Jadeja a century, Pant 90, 649 for 9 declared. And then in response, the West Indies are 6 for 94, with the highest score being Chase with 27 not out.
It poses the question which we'll go into it for a little bit of detail.
Well, after going through the humiliation of England, India have bounced back and are now dominating an inferior opponent. And that is what not to do.
One thing that it does pose is that, as we know, there are modified fixtures for the teams who are, say, ranked 9th to 12th. They play less test matches, less shortened series. Do the West Indies now need to be part of that category?
Important question. They certainly are not running around with their heads chopped off like they were 3 years ago, but they certainly are not a competitive team.
So we've played 19 here, it's 2 for 66.
And so that shot off Butler in the previous over was definitely not the right thing to do. With drinks break just around the corner, you don't play a wild slog shot outside the off stump. Maybe if it's down the leg side you do, but not outside the off to an off spinner. A rather unusual field with a very straight, fine leg. It's not far away from the commentary box, so there are 4 fielders on the leg side, mid-off, mid-wicket, square leg, and a very straight, fine leg. On the offside we've got a gully, point, cover point, shortish cover, and mid-wicket. Just 2 balls to go before the drinks break, and Macleod should be very pleased with the position that they are in. A very healthy run rate, only 2 wickets down. And that's a maiden. It's still 2 for 66. Well, the session is over. And Diamond Creek have had a couple of good overs just at the very end to halt, somewhat slow down the scoring for Macleod. They've gone from going at about 3.5 to 3.6, 3.7 runs per over. Now it's a bit less, it's about 3.3, 3.2. So a little bit of a decline in the runs per over rate. And Diamond Creek should be pleased. So this is a drinks break, and we'll have a video montage, and then we'll come back once the drinks break is over. You are watching Channel 8, the local sports network.
Everything, everything, everything I touch will break. And every day, every day, every day you give and I take. I'm living the best that I can, but fate never followed my plans. I'm holding you back, so I want you to pack up and grow. Everything, everything, everything you've done is great, but your back has been feeling exhausted from all of the weight. I'll carry this burden myself. Just put me up high on a shelf. Think of me fondly, but please move beyond me and go. There's so much that you want to do. The world my resolve goes away, and I ask you to stay.
So we've got the second half here of the Macleod innings coming up. For those who have just joined the telecast, we've got 2 for 66 with the score at the moment. So we'll quickly run through how things have looked for the Roos so far there. After Diamond Creek won the toss and sent him into bat, our first man to go was Armin. He was caught for 6 off the bowling of Hayden, well held by Mitch Elsing there at mid-off. And then Botto, the man who was doing the damage, we talked about in the pre-game telecast. He then found himself caught by a fantastic catch. He made 41 there. So at the moment we've got Botto on 7 and Brandt on 11. For the bowling, Jackson Elsing's bowled all 8 for 25 with 1 wicket. Keenan 1 for 17 off 5. Mitch Elsing 3 overs for 15. Bedurk 2 overs for 4. And McCormick 2 overs for 5.
Thank you very much for that, Haydos. Looks like Bedurk is going to continue to bowl at the Nillumbik end. So let's rejoin the telecast.